This week on AQHA's Best of the West, we're in the cutting capital of the world, Fort Worth, Texas. It's the National Cutting Horse Association's Superstakes competition, featuring the best 4-year-old horses with non-pro riders. It's all next. Welcome to Fort Worth, Texas, and if you dream of cutting greatness, this is the show, the Will Rogers Coliseum and the NCHA Superstakes non-pro final. Hi everybody, I'm Jeff Metters, with me NCHA great Barbara Schulte, and this is an interesting field in this final. Of course, you have the $3 million Cowgirl in there, Sandy Benelli, fresh off her 4th NCHA Futurity non-pro title. She's thinking Triple Crown.
She sure is, and her mare, Blue Laboon, is a wonderful mare. Sandy fits her, and you can bet that they're going to be going for it tonight.
Defending champion Paula Wood is back. She'd love nothing more than back-to-back Superstakes titles.
And Paula's a fierce competitor, and if she gets the right cattle, she can be right in there too.
And you can't count out Skip Queen and his very talented gelding, Sister CD. That gelding has proved he could win at any level.
Paul Hansma just won the Abilene Spectacular in January. That is a wonderful horse.
And if you're looking for a rooting interest down that horse line, what a great sire, Highbrow Cat.
He has 4 tonight. Those horses are consistently in the finals and fun to watch.
First to work, Sue's Stylish Babe, a mare sired by Playin' Stylish, ridden by Jeff Barnes from Wilton, California. And we've had a chance to see this mare in the early stages.
Yes. This mare had a very good showing in the semis, marked a 2:16. She is a half-sister to Sue's Barn Cat out of the same mare final Sue. Jeff rides with Gary Gonzalez, who now lives in Weatherford, Texas. The pair have been together for about 8 years and have had great success. Jeff is a very, very good non-pro rider.
Deep cut to start things off.
Walking up really quietly, very smoothly. Looks to me like he's going after the gold cow. See what happens here on the cut. Nice cut, good clean cut. Nice start to the run. All is well. That's good. A little bit long there, Jeff. Just not quite as smooth as he would have liked.
Has an opportunity there to get off, and he takes that. Barbara, talk a little bit about non-pro. You know, it's obviously, as the name entitles, not professional. But, you know, these riders at this level especially, very skilled, very polished, and have been down the road.
Yes, these riders are very, very accomplished, many of them. It's a high-level competition. As the name implies, professionals are not in this particular arena, but you have to really put your skills to the test to place high in this class.
As the second cow selected right there, and this one seems to be pretty lively at the start.
Yes. You know, what we like is for a cow to set up in the middle of the arena, which this cow is doing right now. Looking at the horse, very good cow. The mare has good position. She's a little bit long to the left of our screen, to her right, working just a tad bit off center. There, he got her in position. That's good. That quit looks a little bit marginal. You know, we like for quits for the cow to be either stopped or obviously turned away, so we'll just have to see what happens in the score.
Chips his third cow off pretty quickly, just a few seconds left here. A chance for Jeff Barnes and Sue's Stylish Babe to finish working. That's what they do, and the score here, 2:07, so that will leave Jeff wanting a little bit more on his run. Now to Bob Doolin. Julie Hansma is the rider. This is a gelding by Dual Ray, and Julie, obviously her husband Paul, one of the top trainers in the NCHA, and she's right up there in terms of the non-pros. About $680,000 so far in her lifetime earnings.
Julie is a fantastic non-professional competitor. She has a wonderful alliance happening with her husband Paul, who's one of the greatest trainers in our industry. You know, this horse was a little bit slower to mature, had not won money entering into the Superstakes, but certainly looks ready tonight. Very bright, very accurate, ears forward, everything's in the middle of the arena. Julie doing a really good job jockeying. It's a little bit long there, but still very nice. Judges love that crouch.
Cow comes to a stop. She moves back now for her second cow. That horse is a fun first cow, I think, there for her, and you can see, she really demonstrated that horse is a really cool mover.
Yes, she looks very connected to this horse. Very nice presentation, and actually this pair won reserve in the non-pro gelding this week, which was a big accomplishment for them.
Homegrown, a homebred, and so that's always one that you enjoy winning on, and maybe not in the futurity, just for maturity reasons. Who knows? But she seems to have him firing here in the Superstakes.
Absolutely, these young horses are not always on our time frame. This horse has a wonderful squat to a stop. Very collected, weights on the end there. Very nice. Very, very good. So I think Julie has a nice run in the making here.
Lots of time left, 35 seconds, so she can afford to be a little finicky when it comes to selecting her third and final cow, and hopefully it will be one that will help her ice the cake.
She's doing a nice job here with managing her time. She has about 20 seconds left, which is enough time to make a pretty cut yet end working. Judges like to see competitors end working instead of being in the herd.
She took quite a few out there to select that final cow, and I mean, you guys make it look so easy. There's not a whole lot of time left on the clock, and she still did a great job of getting that final cow, and a little boost for her. Bob Doolin and Julie Hansma, 2:15 is their score. Another look here at some of the action.
Yes, and that score is going to get Julie a nice check, certainly going to be in the top 5 to 10 horses.
She is number 1 at the moment. For more, let's go to Jennifer Reynolds.
Look pretty strong out there.
Yeah, he's as good as you could want. First cow, I overreacted a little bit. I was pretty pumped up and wanting to test him out, but once I calmed down, he was wonderful. So I'm very, very happy.
Next on the list, Cataboom and Jimmy Camp. They'll ride into the arena for real when we come back. Welcome back to AQHA's Best of the West coverage, the NCHA Superstakes non-pro competition from the home of cutting, Fort Worth, Texas. That's Cataboom and Jimmy Camp Jr. riding in. And this is a mare sired by Highbrow Cat in the number 215 that has the lead at the moment.
This is a beautiful bay Highbrow Cat mare. The Highbrow Cats, certainly, one of the most popular bloodlines in our industry with lots of success. I love this mare's level look, walking in there quietly, just waiting to start working.
These guys scout the cattle very well, and that's the great mystery, isn't it? Somewhere in that herd is a cow or two that can win you the title, and the object is to find them and then not waste them when you get them.
I know, and the really good riders make it look like that is the cow that just happens to be out there, but yet they've selected them ahead of time. Mare got a little bit out of position on the right side there. Jimmy quit, not ideally what he would like to have done there.
This cow kind of headed to the back 40, so he has to regroup, cut another cow.
As he rides in here, he's obviously looking for one particular cow, which is what most of the riders do. They have about 3 to 4 cattle in their mind, and they look to see which of those cattle end up being in a good position to make a good clean cut.
So you select those cows. Now talk about the communication that goes on between the herd holders and the turnback guys, and how are they guiding you or helping you select that cow or get that cow to the front of the herd?
They just give you kind of the specs of the situation, where those cattle are, but ultimately it is up to you, the rider, to make the selection.
This first cow was lively, second cow pretty lively too.
Yes, he's just not really getting a lot of good run content building in this particular segment here. So we'll see what happens. He still has one more cow to go.
If you're Jimmy, you're thinking, well, I'm kind of 0 for 2 in terms of getting work done, so I need to finish in a giant way right here just to have a chance to hit the board.
Yes, exactly. So here the cattle are peeling to the right. I love that view. He selects this red cow, wants to get in her neck to control it. This is better here in the middle of the arena.
Well, the third cow was somewhat strong there for Cataboom and Jimmy Kemp Jr. They wind up with a score of 208. A little bit of disappointment for them. When you come to the Super Stakes, you're going to see a lot of great horses. For more on what we've seen this week, here's Jennifer.
Jeff, some great horses made the finals, but then couldn't finish quite strong enough here tonight. NCHA Smart Bodie, a gelding owned by Cole and Crystal Benedict, scored in the top 20 in the semifinals. Shown by Cole, NCHA Smart Bodie had a rough go here, however, and posted a 180. Spook's Melody, a gray Starlight stallion ridden by co-owner William Cohen, also made it to the finals by finishing 10th in the semis with a 214.5, but did not find the same success here in the finals, finished with a 203. Whole Lotta Pretty looked better in the semis with a score of 213.5, but could only get a 187 from the judges here in the finals. The mare out of Pretty Boy Cat is owned by Arthur Noble.
Well, 215 has the lead right now. Is that in danger? Paula Wood and J. Bars Lou would like to think so. They're coming up next. Well, most sports have their scouts and recruiters, and those are the scouts for cutting. Those are the guys and gals that sit up there and watch the cows and help these non-pro contestants formulate their game plans. Next out, J. Bars Lou. Paula Wood is the rider, and Paula, by the way, the defending champion in the Super Stakes non-pro, won last year on Cheetah Cash Cat, trying to defend her title here with J. Bars Lou.
What a fierce, highly skilled non-pro competitor Paula is. She was the 1993 NCHA non-pro world champion. Her husband Kobe does her training, and they show in a lot of weekend shows as well as major aged events. And here she goes.
First cow selected.
This is kind of a slow cow, not a lot of action. Paula just mirror imaging without a lot of extra pizzazz.
Lightly traveled last year in terms of the non-pro world championship. Only went to 15 shows, still finished in the top 20.
I think that's really typical of Paula. She goes out there to win every time and to lay down her best show that she can at that particular time. She's looking a little more deliberate here in this particular cut, obviously after a specific cow. The cattle are rolling around her. She's looking to the right-hand side. There's her cow, this gold cow. Puts her horse down. She's got a little move going on this cow now. There we go. Creating a little bit more excitement here in the run.
These two have been really consistent in the 3 rounds here in Fort Worth. 214, 213.5, and then a 214 again in the semifinals.
Now this cow's playing out here, starting to run from wall to wall. That's one good sign for a competitor to quit the cow, is when it starts running either from wall to wall or towards the turnback men.
Clock not an issue as she goes back after the 3rd cow here, so a somewhat solid run going for Paula Wood.
Yes, I would say that, you know, not a lot of mistakes, just very clean, but not a lot of extra action here. Now here we are in the middle of the pen again. Oh, horse takes off, or the cow takes off to the wall.
And for Paula Wood and J. Bars Lou, a score of 211, and you know, of the 3, the 2nd cow probably the best.
Yes, I think so, and Paula will get a nice check here, and that's what it's all about.
Walk us through how it went for you today.
Well, I didn't cut the cow we wanted first, but I tried to just cut clean, and 2nd cow we wanted, and we didn't really shape her to cut, but she was there, but we had talked about her. And then the 3rd cow, we talked about that cow too, so. But it's just hard to get a feel of where they're at and stuff, and my mare was she felt a little unsure today too, so we've done better, but we've done worse.
You know, Paul, pretty honest with her game plan there, you know, talking about cattle selection. Tummy's Little Cat will be next to go. This is a mare by Highbrow Cat.
Jeff, I had the good fortune to ride this mare's mother, and she was just an absolutely wonderful daughter of Doc's Oak, very dynamic, real low-headed. I know that Gail loves that mare. Austin Shepard has been helping Gail with this mare. She had no earnings prior to this competition. She's getting a little bit long there. Now she's recovering, that's better.
You know, if there's anything in their corner, you know, you work with your trainer, you know, as you prepare your horse, and the great thing is that your trainer can be out there with you, turning back or in the herd, and you know, so you have a coach right there on the sideline, so to speak.
It's a great comfort to all of us, professionals and non-professionals alike. They're kind of like another thought process out there helping you, but ultimately the reins are in your hands and you have to make the decisions. But the coaches are a big part of the non-pro success.
Back with a pretty deep cut here after that second cow. We talked about Highbrow Cat off the top of the show. You've had a chance to ride his babies. What kind of babies does he throw? What kind of qualities does he pass on?
I think one of the greatest qualities that Highbrow Cat gives to his colts is consistency and cowiness. One thing about a Highbrow Cat baby is you know that you're going to have some level of either world-class athlete or a nice horse. There are very few Highbrow Cats that don't do the trick for us.
Second cow, some degree of difficulty here with this cow.
Yeah, this is a running cow, and this mare is just a little bit behind, just not quite face-to-face or in complete synchrony with the cow.
You made an interesting point if you were with us for the open competition here at the Superstakes. Keep your eye on the cow. You know, you hear that in sports all the time with baseball and football. You know, you got to keep your eye on the ball, and no different here in this sport. You got to watch the cow.
Absolutely, that's what gives us the rhythm. Oops, she has a 1-point penalty there for a miss. But Gail's done a very nice job riding this mare. These cattle have not been easy.
And the score for Tummy's Little Cat and Gail Hooper, 2-11. That puts her into a tie for second place at the moment. Maybe the second cow here, the best test for her.
The one thing about this cow is it is fast, and this mare's a little green, and it has done a good job handling it.
Let's go to Jennifer.
Walk me through how it went for you.
Well, when we first started out, I just want to get as much cutting time as I could. We've gone through a little bit with this mare to get her here, and so I was just trusting her to take over for me.
What do you mean we went through a lot to get her here?
Well, we've had a couple ups and downs trying to get her shown, and Austin's had her for the last couple months, and he's brought her along to really have fun out there and have fun with the cow.
Scoreboard reveals one very obvious thing. The ladies are winning. Julie Hansma, Paula Wood, Gail Hooper, the top three, with Hansma in the lead with that 2:15. And Sarah Marine would love to add her name to that list. She's coming up next. Glad you're with us in Fort Worth, Texas. This is not the city of brotherly love. That would be Philadelphia. And the sideshow here at the Will Rogers Coliseum. Back to the action. This is Ray Ann Hickory, a mare by Dual Ray, ridden by Dustin Adams, who lives in Dublin, Texas.
Yes, and Dustin is another one of the very accomplished non-professional riders. He's been on a great winning earning streak the past couple of years. This mare is by Dual Ray out of Hickory's Tachita.
Touched on his success as a non-pro, over $1.5 million in lifetime earnings, and goes with the black cow here, who's going to test him right off the bat.
Yes, and prior to this competition, this mare won $64,000. So Dustin and this mare have had a good time of it prior to this. So far, so good. He's just mirror imaging this cow.
Very consistent through the early rounds, two 2:15s to start, then a 2:15.5 in the semis to make it into this final, and 2:15.5 right now would be good enough to put you in the lead. Bob Doolin and Julie Hansma still the leaders.
You know, we were talking about bloodlines before. The Dual Rays are another very prominent bloodline. This is a daughter of Dual Ray. Those horses are extremely cowy, and you can see that in this mare.
So not a bad start here for Dustin. We'll see what he can come up with cow number 2.
The mare is getting a little excited on that cut, backing up. He's having to push her up. That's going to be a little bit of roughness from a judge's perspective. He's wanting that cow to move, I can tell you that. Standing there gets a little bit unnerving at times.
Do you show some patience there and wait on the cow? Do you edge your horse forward? What's the strategy on that?
Well, you just keep looking at the cow, maybe touch the horse's sides with your calves. What seems like an eternity is actually only a second or two from the rider's perspective.
Plenty of time left. Going to chip off his third cow here, and 3 actually scamper out of the herd.
Yes, he's showing some aggressiveness here, trying to get a little bit more done. That second cow was slow. The mare is getting a little bit long to our left. There, that was better. This is a faster cow. This cow's really running now. Got a little bit behind there.
And for Ray and Hickory, Dustin Adams, their score 210. That moves him into 4th place. The ladies still sitting 1, 2, 3 on the leaderboard as Sarah Marine rides in on Honky Tonk Diva. This is a mare by Royal Fletch.
And you know, Jeff, Royal Fletch was the futurity champion with Kathy Dawn. You can see that horse's similarity in this horse. Sarah is 22 years old, and she got this mare as a 2-year-old. Prior to this, she was very consistent with 16s in the go-rounds and the semis.
Sarah's just 22 years old, but she's been showing horses now for 16 years. Goes back to the age of 6, and you know, what's a good age for a non-pro? When can you call yourself a veteran?
Well, that's a good question. I think when you have been showing for quite a while, and you know, the wonderful thing about our sport is that it is not so determined by age. You can start like Sarah at 6, and you can keep showing into your 70s and beyond if you're able-bodied enough. You know, unlike a lot of other sports where at a certain time you really have to quit. And that's the beauty, especially in the non-professional division.
She got this mare at the age of 2, and you can tell very comfortable. They know each other well, and we'll see if she can build on it now with the second cow.
Watch this mare's ears. She's very bright as she looks at the cow. Sarah doing a very nice job, very accurate. You can see in some of the riders a look of confidence. You know, Sarah knows this mare, rides her aggressively, looks confident. There's just a feeling about it that it looks as if the rider's really stepping up to the plate.
You know, chemistry is interesting with people. You know, you'll meet people that you like instantly, and you'll meet other people that you're not quite fond of. Same with the horses. How important is chemistry between horse and rider?
I think that when a rider feels bulletproof on a horse, it absolutely reflects in the run. Sarah looks very, very comfortable on this mare, and she's a very nice mare. You can see why. She's putting together a very, very solid, pretty run. Looks good to me. I think she's going to really go up there on the charts.
So maybe a change at the top of the leaderboard. Honky Tonk Diva and Sarah Marine, 216.5. They're the new leader. And yeah, really all 3 cows were pretty solid.
Absolutely, no mistakes, very clean, very pretty, and judges absolutely love that.
Jennifer is with our new leader.
You're 22 years old, and you're out here doing this with a lot of the people that have been doing it since before you were born. How does it feel out there?
Yeah, it just, anymore it's just, it's becoming more and more easier for me, but I've been showing since I was 5 or 6 years old, you know, in the youth and stuff, and I don't know, I just go out there and have fun all the time, you know.
So these people don't intimidate you?
Well, yeah, some of them do. I mean, it's hard not to. There's such good riders and good horses in this deal, you know.
A look at the leaderboard. Sarah Marine now on top with Honky Tonk Diva, 216.5. Julie Hansma and Bob Doolin bumped to 2nd place. The ladies now occupy the top 4 places on the board. Sarah rides out the leader, and Wesley Gallion comes in hoping to strike one up for the boys. Welcome back to Fort Worth, Texas, not far from the Will Rogers Coliseum, the historic stockyards. Great shopping, great food, a must stop. Hi everybody, Jeff Metters along with NCHA great Barbara Schulte. Sarah Marine in the lead at the moment, 216.5. We've seen some good cutting, but there has to be some better.
Yes, I think so, Jeff. Typically a 218, 219 and above wins a competition. I would be shocked if a 216 won tonight.
Still some great horses and riders yet to go. Of course, you have Sandy Benelli and Skip Queen. Getting back to the action, Swinging Eclipse, ridden by Wade Rust. He lives in Gordon, Texas. His lifetime earnings a little over $400,000, and Barbara, we talked about having your coach or your trainer in there helping you. Wade is a past world champion, and his dad is one of the turnback riders, so he has support now on all sides.
Yes, Wade and his dad go to weekend shows a lot and also aged events, and they are highly competitive, a great team. This horse has won about 5,900 just coming into this competition, getting a little long on that left side, and the cow released him, which means that the cow lost interest in the horse and went the opposite direction. Not an ideal look there.
Very consistent over the rounds coming into the finals. 2:16 in the first round. That was the best that he had. But, you know, 14.5, 15.5 in the semis. So, you know, I got to think their expectations are way up there.
Yes, well, this is a nice horse, and Wade looks very comfortable with this horse. This is a better start to his second cow. All is well here. See how the horse is really wedging up into that cow, controlling it. Not a very fast cow, not a very high degree of difficulty, which is one of the things that the judges mark people on. So that helped him a little, but not a tremendous amount. You know, pretty, but not high degree of difficulty.
Now you're in a situation where you've cut 2 cows and you have about a minute left on the clock, so you can expect him to be very patient in the herd right here.
Yes, he needs to kill some time here.
And that's what he's doing. That's a deep cut right there.
Yes, well, normally a cow's working life is about maybe, you know, 15 seconds, 20 at the most. By that I mean their interest in the horse, then they wander off or start running. So you have to be careful not to end up working too long so that the cow plays out. We're going to see what happens here as we have 28 seconds.
Keep in mind, he's just kind of committed now to the end, so.
Right, well, this is good. This is starting out well. Now, there we go. See, the cow started out good and now it's getting bad, but Wade has no choice but to stay on this cow.
Down to his final 5 or 6 seconds.
Cow kind of took him a little bit deep. Oh, the horse stalled out a little bit there. Thought the cow was going to come back to him a little bit out of position. Just a few little glitches in that run.
They add up. 2:07 for Swinging Eclipse and Wade Rust. Joe's last leader now, Wesley Gallion, comes from a line of cutters and very good horsemen. And, you know, here's a good look at the next generation, and Wesley's done a good job already of making a name for himself.
He absolutely has. You know, last year he showed the tremendous horse Spots Hot and won the open division of the NCHA Futurity and showed that horse very successfully last year. Wesley is one of the most talented non-professional riders.
Just a pup, lifetime earnings already about $750,000 for him. And, you know, for him, coming in, you look at the leaderboard, 2:16.5, and you know he's very capable of that. Has a horse that's capable of that. But as always, you know, it all comes down to cattle selection.
Yes, you know, in order to get these horses shown, we like to have cattle that have some move, but ideally set up in the middle of the arena. This cow's a little bit runny here. Again, not horrible, but just isn't allowing Wesley to show his horse, although he's doing a good job staying very accurate. Oh, got a little long there. Okay, a legal quit.
But a first cow that really didn't give him much of an opportunity, did it, to show off.
Right. Nothing so bad, just a little bit short, you know, of a sterling presentation. You know, Wesley comes from a long line of cutting horse men. His grandfather, Kenneth, was a trainer in the Midwest when I was growing up, very, very accomplished man. And of course, his father, Jody, is one of our premier trainers. So Wesley comes by this very naturally.
Very patient on the selection of his second cow.
Okay, nice cut in the middle of the arena. Accurate so far. A little bit slow coming back there. See, the cow is not really taking hold of the horse, is what we call it. Just kind of running aimlessly, you know, coming out our direction there. Again, not really giving the horse a good chance to show what he can do. Not making mistakes so much as just not allowing a lot of dynamic action. ideally in the center of the arena.
And the clock's an issue now if he's going to have a chance to finish working.
Yes, and ideally he wants to complete his run working a cow, which he does not get accomplished there.
For Joe's last, Lena and Wesley Gallion, 2:14, not good enough to get them on the first page of the leaderboard. Sarah Marine and Honky Tonk Diva still on top. Let's go back to Jennifer.
This is obviously a really nice horse, but you weren't really getting much cooperation from the cows.
Yeah, I just, sometimes it happens being deep down in there, and I mean, we just didn't really, he was trying to be good, mark 19 or 20 or whatever, but we just didn't have any cows at all that, we just had to just go down there and wing it because some of the cows we liked didn't act good and stuff like that.
Well, if you have the lead, I would not relax. Sandy Benelli's getting set. She's coming up, along with another tough non-pro, Matt Miller. Well, if you're an American quarter horse, that is the enemy right there, the cattle. When it comes to cutting, we're at the NCHA Superstakes, the non-pro final, and that is a $3 million cowgirl, Sandy Benelli on Blue Laboon. She won the NCHA Futurity non-pro title on this mare back in December. Back-to-back Futurity titles for her. She's a 4-time Futurity champion, and the only name bigger on that list is Buster Welch, who's a 5-time champ. And Barbara, anytime you're being compared to Buster in the NCHA, you're in pretty good company.
Absolutely. Sandy is an incredible horsewoman. She's one of the people I admire most in this industry. She's so consistent. She's very connected to her horses. She's really into her own program as far as knowing what she likes, what she wants. In fact, she picked this mare out as a weanling, which many times people pick yearlings or 2- and 3-year-olds, but she picked her out as a weanling.
And that alone is quite an accomplishment to get her to this level. And boy, she's a flashy mare. A lot of cow, good mover, and you can see why she's a Futurity champion.
Watch how Sandy steps this mare out in front of the cow to stop and control the cow. Very nicely done. She took that cow from the edges and brought it right back to the center of the arena.
When you look at what we have seen so far, 2:16.5 in the lead, so very much a wide open cutting at this stage. And if you're in the lead, I think Sandy's one of those names on the list that follows yours that you definitely need to be afraid of.
Yes, and you can bet that she is going for the win. Makes her cut a little bit on the side, not really a problem. Here we go. This mare is really bright. Sandy creates a lot by stopping the cow, stepping up to it. This mare is really pretty working a cow. Whoops, there's a miss. That's going to hurt Sandy. Just 1 point per judge, 3 points total.
4-time Futurity non-pro champion, but her resume at the Superstakes pretty good as well. 3-time champion here, but she hasn't won the Superstakes non-pro title since 1998.
Now this looks good, Jeff. Head to head. Really goes again and stops that cow.
Well, the Triple Crown dream ends right here for Sandy Benelli. 2:11.5 for Blue Laboon. That puts her in a tie for 4th place at the moment. Hokies Cat, Matt Miller from Millsap, Texas, next to go. This is another son from Highbrow Cat.
Yes, and this horse is out of the mare Katie B. Akerdock, a really fine daughter of Bob Akerdock. Matt's been very successful with this horse, making 5 finals prior to this competition.
Yeah, batting 1,000, 5 shows, 5 finals, and could really add to the resume right here with a win in the non-pro Superstakes. But first cow out here, let's see how it unfolds.
Very pretty. This horse has a wonderful style, very smooth, notching that cow. In the middle of the arena. Very nice start to his run. Pretty quick, all very under control.
One of those finals that Matt made on this horse is that little party they throw down in Augusta. They won the Augusta non-pro title. It's a great thing to have on your resume. That happened in January. Follow that up with a win in the Superstakes, and you have the makings for a very, very good season.
Yes, and this pair already won the Superstakes Limited non-pro this week, so they are definitely on a roll.
Great camera shot right there. It gave him a chance to see how, and he was looking at the herds, which had split and gone in 2 different directions, and you can see the decision-making process. And
yes.
This was a somewhat complicated cut right here.
Yes, but he made it look very smooth and clean, right in the middle of the arena, exactly where you want it to be. This run is really developing, building. First cow is nice. This cow has a little more move. No glitches in this run so far. This horse has a beautiful style.
We're pretty deep into this non-pro final. 2:16.5 still has the lead, and you know it's still pretty much anybody's game, I think, at this stage.
Yes, and the time on this run is perfect. That is a very aggressive cut. He's taken a little bit of a risk there with a lot of working time on the last cow. The judges love that. This horse looks good. Controlling the cow. Very pretty, very nice. Got a little long there, but I don't think it's a penalty.
Matt Miller and Hokies cat. 3 solid cows, and the end result for them, not too bad. 2:18.5, and a new leader with Matt Miller and Hokies cat, and the second cow, good degree of difficulty.
Yes, and you can see why this pair has done so well. Everything fits.
They are in sync. Let's go to Jennifer Reynolds.
Now, talk to me about what it is that makes this horse special.
This is his 5th show we've been to, and he's come out of winning quite a bit of money every show, so he takes care of us. He's always been in the finals. He's been there at every show he's been to in his life, so he does good for us.
So Hokies cat and Matt Miller surge to the lead, 2:18.5. Honky Tonk Diva and Sarah Marine in second place now. A very polished top 10, but the question, 2:18.5, is that good enough to win? Well, to find out, you're going to have to stick around. Welcome back to AQHA's Best of the West coverage. The second jewel in Cutting's Triple Crown, the NCHA Superstakes from the Will Rogers Coliseum in Fort Worth, Texas. Savannah's Kitty next to work. Bruce Lusk is the cowboy in the saddle, and this is a daughter of Highbrow Cat.
Yes, once again, here's another one of those Highbrow Cat horses. They are consistently in the finals. This is a very pretty daughter.
We have a 2:18.5 in the lead right now, and if you look back over Savannah's Kitty resume here at the Superstakes, 2:18 in the first round, then a 2:10 and a 2:14 in the semis. So it kind of needs to get back to the form of that first round here to have a chance to win this.
Yes, probably something happened, an unfortunate penalty in the second round. It's hard to tell from the scores, but certainly he's here tonight, and that's what matters. Got started a little bit on the side there. Now he's in the middle of the arena, head-to-head with the cow. You know, not a lot of dramatic action here, but very controlled. Cow is facing the horse. This looks good so far. Very nice.
You have a cow that wasn't running on him, kept him in the center of the arena, but degree of difficulty, it was high enough to get you very many pluses in there.
Right.
Gonna have a pretty quick cut here on his second cow.
He's stepping right up there. Wants to work the cow closest to us here on the screen. All is well, pretty cut in the middle of the arena. Again, this cow not moving very far at the moment. So far, no errors. Again, not a high degree of difficulty.
So most of the work that he's gotten done has been right in the center of the pen, and that's exactly what you want. Just not a real test for the horse so far in terms of the cow trying to get back to the herd.
Yes, and really judges in the finals, they want to see some action. You know, certainly good solid runs can get you a nice paycheck, but it would be a good thing for him to finish with some action on this last cow.
Inside 10 seconds now, and still has 4 or 5 cows to sort through. What pushes the issue, just gets that hand down before the buzzer. So Bruce Lusk and Savannah's Kitty, they work 3 cows, but only wind up with a score of 208. That's not going to be anywhere near the top, and then back to cow number 2 right here.
Yes, I think what happens in this run is the first cut's a little rough, not a high degree of difficulty, and he ends up on the run on his last cut.
And all that added up to a 2:08 for Savannah's Kitty and Bruce Lusk. We're down to our last chance now to catch Matt Miller and Hokies Cat. And this is Sister CD, a gelding by C.D. Olina. Skip Queen from Lipan, Texas is the rider, and he's been competing as a non-pro in the NCHA ranks since 1993. He's won about $750,000, but no NCHA Triple Crown titles on his resume.
Skip and his wife Elizabeth are fierce NCHA competitors. They are always in the finals, always knocking at the door. Now Skip is stepping up through these cattle. Let's see what happens on this cut. After the black cow, clean first cut. Look at what a pretty rider Skip is. Down over his horse, very intense. This is a fast cow. Look at how athletic that gelding is.
Well, it didn't take Sister CD long to get engaged either right there on that. Showing a lot of cow, very smooth, and didn't stay with that first cow very long, but had pretty good action out of him.
But one thing at this point, the judges have really noticed this gelding because he is coming out there laying his hocks on the ground. He and Skip covered that first cow very well, so I'm sure they're anxious to see what happens here.
Another deep cut for cow number 2.
There's a lot of cattle out here now. Looks like he's after this gold mott. Oh, going over to the side. Not really ideal. A little bit messy, a little bit of traffic there that Black Baldy gets hung up. Really not our ideal situation.
As a rider, does that unnerve you a little bit when this happens?
Well, you have to keep your cool, that's for sure. You have to let it go and get right to working the cow.
Well, it looks like the second cow was worth that trouble cut just for this one. This is awesome.
This is a high action cow, but see, Skip and this horse are controlling this cow, and that is a big feather in their cap. That was a fast cow.
And I believe that is the best cow that we have seen so far in this entire non-pro final. So you got to like the chances right now for Skip Queen and Sister CD. Well, just got to polish it off here with this final cow.
Well, and this horse is so athletic, has so much style, so much charisma. And another fast cow to earn points. Looks good to me, Jeff.
And the judges like it as well. 222 for Sister CD and Skip Queen. They're going to win the Superstakes non-pro title. Hokies Cat and Matt Miller have to settle for second place. Sarah Marine and Julie Hansma were 1 and 2 at one time. They're going to settle for third and fourth place. And for Skip Queen, the only thing missing on his resume, a major NCHA title. That is not the case anymore. He's standing by with Jennifer Reynolds.
Now you know you've won it. How does it feel?
Well, you know, anytime you win something, it's a great feeling. I wasn't particularly happy with my showing tonight. My horse was great and really packed me along, and you know, my help was outstanding. I can't say enough for those guys.
What was going through your mind on that second cow when you couldn't get that Black Baldy out of there?
You know, I knew I was just going to have to settle down and, you know, just let it work itself out, and that's hard to do. I mean, because you want to, in the finals, you need to be cutting. You don't need to be out there wrestling cattle around. When you have a run like that and it's not as controlled as you would like, you know, you just have to kind of go with the flow. And you know, like I said, the horse, he was on cue tonight, and he made up for my blemishes.
Where does this stack up in your life in cutting?
Oh, this is definitely the biggest win for me. You know, I've won some events, but never an NCHA event. So this is definitely the crown in my hat.
Well, congratulations to Skip Queen as he gets that elusive NCHA title. He and Sister CD are $30,000 richer, and they're the NCHA non-pro champions. For Jennifer Reynolds and Barbara Schulte, I'm Jeff Metters. So long from Fort Worth, Texas.